You're watching W33BY, Detroit, Highland Park, Michigan. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of W33BY, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?
Not now, we're playing.
Just a minute.
Okay.
Pretty little black boy, your life is filled with sorrow and unpredictable tomorrows. Pretty little black boy, I know it's hard for you to smile, 'cause I've stood and watched a while. Keep your head up high. No one can take away your smile. Would you like to walk with me from that dead-end street? Would you like to take my hand and we'll find our promised land? Would you like to walk with me, little one? Would you like to take my hand? We'll find our promised land. See, you are a chosen child, because wherever you stand on the center of the earth. And whenever the sun shines, it shines directly on you. Pretty little black boy. And at night, the moon follows you wherever you go. Pretty little black boy, your world is filled with dreams and a chance for better things. Pretty little black boy, I know there's no shoes on your feet and not enough food to eat. Keep your head up high, you're a chosen child. Your chosen child, wear your smile. Little one, walk with me, and you'll see how sweet it'll be. We'll find our promised land.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom all praise is due, and we forever thank Allah for raising up in our midst Messenger Elijah Muhammad, and we can never thank Almighty God, Allah, enough for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his local student representative, student minister, Brother Troy Muhammad, who is doing an outstanding job in his representation of the life-giving teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is continuing. We want to thank you for tuning in to the Journal of Truth, brothers and sisters. And as you know, we thank Allah for our great brother, R.J. Watkins, the president and CEO of WHPR TV 33, his great vice president, Brother Henry Tyler, Brother Sutton Bay, and all of those who make it possible for us to come before you in this manner. Unity is the key. Since Allah, God, did not come to us quarreling, why should we quarrel with one another? We must recognize his love for us and not let him hear us quarreling and disrespecting his presence. Proudness is a sickness. This is why we are divided. We will be one or nothing. The more you learn, the less you seek advantage. Don't be careful that you agree on right, but be careful that you don't agree on wrong. Don't withhold your good just because another withholds his good. You do your part. Greeting a Muslim is binding upon you. If you do not, your mind is not right. The right medicine for the disease in our heart is the Spirit of Allah. Fear is the worst enemy of man. When you find a man that doesn't fear, that is the winner. These are words of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, brothers and sisters, and he calls this great teaching to you and to all of us a thought on unity. So let us obey the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who have given us this great teaching, and Allah has given us this great mercy with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I hope and pray to Allah that you all stick with us this evening. Have a very special guest here with us this evening, our great first officer who is over in training the FOI. Many of you have so many questions about the fruit of Islam. Well, this evening we have our first officer here, Brother Harmon Muhammad, and also my big brother, who's here always, and that's Brother Minister Daniel Muhammad, that one who was made minister directly under Messenger Elijah Muhammad and was blessed to be the minister over Temple number 28, which is located in St. Louis, Missouri. So we want you to go, sisters, get your husbands, get your sons, get your aunts and your nephews and your nieces, because we're going to have a good time by the mercy of Almighty God, Allah, and we pray that Allah blesses us who are here so humbly to give information to you that you can understand. All praise is due to Allah. So here on my left is Brother Lieutenant Harmon Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing excellent here.
All praise is due to Allah. And my big brother over there, Brother Minister Daniel Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir. I'm happy and thankful to Allah that you all are here. And we want to talk to the black men today.
Yes,
and we need information. We're going to share information for those of you who have this great writing, Message to the Black Man in America by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. This is a writing that was made available to us in the year of 1965, and it's right on time in 2016. And so we want you to listen closely to the information that Allah will bless us to share with you this evening, brothers and sisters, as we prepare for a great gathering on Monday, and we're going to be talking about that. One of the sons of Messenger Elijah Muhammad will be in town, and that's Brother Minister Ishmael Muhammad. So all praise is due to Allah. For those of you who have Message to the Black Man, on page 321, the messenger talks to us about the fruit of Islam. The subject is on fruit of Islam. As I quote, the fruit of Islam means the first converts to Islam here in America, and the first people to be cleaned and made fit to be called Muslims. Speak to our brothers, Brother Harmon, about the messenger's teaching in this particular paragraph.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness there is but one God, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. Thank you. I want to start out by saying that I thank Brother Student Minister Sami for giving me this opportunity to come on air and talk to everyone about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. I also want to thank our student captain, which is the person that I work directly under, who is responsible for the teaching and the training of the men here in the state of Michigan and parts of Ohio. Where it comes to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad talking about the fruit and what that means, we're taught that the fruit is the best. when you think about it as a tree, you don't know the tree until you see what the fruit it bears. And so when you have a tree and the tree bears the fruit is the best part of that tree. And so the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching us in that particular aspect that we being the first to be cleaned up, we should be the first product, the first fruit of a tree to show the beauty of what Islam can do for us. And so it's very important that we understand it in that particular way, because we are supposed to be an example. And we are supposed to be an example of our submission to Allah and what it looks like when we're submitted to Allah as that fruit.
Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah. Brother Minister Daniel, being a minister directly under Messenger Elijah Muhammad, the works that you all did are famous. For myself, I wasn't in the Nation of Islam. And, of course, Brother Lieutenant, he grew up in the Nation
Yes,
of
sir.
Islam. So you all got testimony to the great love and unity that existed in the Nation of Islam, in the fruit of Islam in St. Louis, Missouri, Brother Minister. What are some of the works that you all put together for our people?
Well, first of all, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, we experienced the first growth during my time of the black man in America. And that's what fruit means. It means that which come out of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the fruit of it. And we experienced lots of things that bore witness to the fact that we were the fruit of Islam, because when hard times came on us, well, no one but the fruit was able to survive.
Yes, sir.
And Allah blessed us to accomplish many things, and in the end we were tried, and we proved that we were the fruit because we came through that trial and they were not able to destroy us.
Yes, sir.
So that was a sign there that we were fruit of Islam.
Yes,
You
sir.
see, that we were the best, the fruit from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And if we had not survived, you wouldn't have a FOI today. You wouldn't have a fruit of Islam. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a perfect example of what fruit means,
Yes, sir.
because he was the one in the forefront of the battle to keep the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad alive.
Yes, sir.
I remember when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his works were being threatened. It was the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan who spoke out the loudest against the opposition, proving once again that the fruit of Islam was very important, because without the fruit there can be no future, because the seed
Come on, brother.
is in the fruit,
Yes, sir.
you see. So it was in him to keep the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad alive, and that's why we were produced, so that we would have a fruit of Islam today. You see, the fruit from the fruit,
Yes, sir.
you know.
Yes, sir.
And so that's what it means to me, that we are the ones to continue the work of keeping the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad alive among our people,
Yes, sir.
because this is our future, and that's the only thing that can allow us to get away from this enemy. That's what the purpose of God coming was, to separate us from our enemies.
Yes,
So
sir.
the fruit is very important because we are the ones that have to keep it alive. We have to be willing to fight the opposition,
Yes, sir.
because that's the only way we can survive, is that we have to fight the opposition. And the very fact that we are alive proves that somebody was fighting the opposition.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Praises be to Allah. As you talking about the seeds,
That's
Brother
it.
Lieutenant, and the fruits carry seeds for reproduction
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes,
in
sir.
them, and to give back what the religion has given to us. Speak to
Absolutely.
us somewhat, being a brother who grew up in the nation. You were born in the nation?
Yes, sir, I
And
was.
Talk to us
Yes,
about
sir.
that, Brother
Yes,
Lieutenant.
sir. Well, my mother and my father were Muslims up under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and so therefore, me and my brothers and sister all were born Muslim in the Nation of Islam. We grew up as children in the 70s. We were young, but we grew up as children in the 70s, and we witnessed the power of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and what he was able to bring to our society and our community. I mean, we literally were in a whole nother world right within the world that we were in.
Yes, sir.
A safe world, a beautiful world, a peaceful world that we had as our existence as children in the Nation of Islam. Well, we can fast forward to where we are now after the departure of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had to raise that nation back up from where it once was to where it is today, because it had changed and went in another direction.
Yes.
And so we found the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, actually it was my father who had heard about him speaking. This was maybe around 1980. And he wanted us to go check it out. He said, go check this out. You know, I heard Farrakhan is trying to rebuild the nation again. Now, I was maybe about 14 years old at that time.
Yes.
And me and my family, we went to see what he was talking about. And when we got to that mosque, which is right there, still located on Wyoming, between Eden and Chalfonte, 14880 Wyoming, we got there, and when we got there, we felt like we found home again.
Yes, sir.
We felt the spirit that we felt when we were children up under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I can't say that feeling was felt at other places that we went to before we got to that place.
Right.
And so we knew then that we had found what we had been looking for, what we had been missing for those years when our nation fell. And from that point forward, we have been a part of the Nation of Islam and trying to be the best example that we can be of the fruit of Islam, as we're talking about, because it really means, again, it's the fruit that Islam has produced. And we're striving to be the example of what that looks like. And so from that day forward, we've been a part of this. Me and my entire family are still a part of the Nation of Islam and trying to work to make things happen in our nation.
No,
Beautiful.
That's a beautiful, beautiful testimony. Brothers and sisters, you just tuned in to the Journal of Truth. I'm here with the first officer over the Fruit of Islam at the historic Muhammad Mosque, number 1, Michigan,
Yes.
Brother Lieutenant Harmon Muhammad, brother who grew up in the nation, was born in the Nation of Islam, and he was just giving us some history about some of the trials and tribulations that they had gone through growing up in the 70s about the Nation of Islam. We had been taught that Islam is like lead, heavy as it is, it will never sink all the way to the bottom of a lake or a river. It levels off. So Islam is still floating in the minds of our people. Many of you that may have went to this direction or that direction, we want you to know humbly that Allah has provided us with a mercy directly from himself in the person of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And if you searching, then we would invite you to come every Sunday to 14880 Wyoming to hear the Honorable Louis Farrakhan's local student minister, Troy Muhammad. And it will be a home for you, those of you who come up under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Again, we're speaking from page 321 of Message to the Black Man in America. As I quote the messenger, he says, and their training is on this basis: as being Muslim, to keep in practice, not just say it is their faith or belief. You must put into practice the principles of Islam that you believe in and serve as an example for others who would accept Islam. Brother Minister Daniel.
That's right. This is a day and time that our people need to have examples. Without an example, they won't have the courage to try. But if they see someone being successful, it will give them the courage to try. You see, and that's what Islam is. Islam is black people in America who have the opportunity to be trained and taught by people who have experienced the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The reason why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is so successful in his raising up black people in America is because they can come into a society that have already overcome alcohol, drugs, and all of those habits that hold black people down.
Yes, sir.
So, like this young brother here, Brother Lieutenant Harmon,
Yes, sir.
he teaches and trains young men coming in off of the street. Well, he's an example setter. And that's what I mean. They need examples.
Yes,
Because that's where the strength is. The strength is in seeing people that overcome problems.
That's right.
That's what makes you believe you can overcome your problems. So that's what the fruit of Islam, that's what it offers the young black people in America today. Because they have many influences.
Right.
But what they're really looking for is someone who can bring them honor and respect. They still have parents. They know what their parents want for them. Their parents want them to have a decent life. They want to return back to receive that honor and that love that they were receiving before they got out in the street,
That's right.
before they picked up the drugs and the alcohol, you see, and the violence. So this is what Islam offers. The fruit of Islam is the men that was trained in Islam to be men, to be decent, young men. And it's a beautiful thing. When you see an FOI, you know you're looking at someone that have been greatly influenced by someone great,
Yes.
you see? And that's the beautiful thing about it. It have the strength in it to enable a young person to come around some people that he can get away from bad habits.
Right.
You see, no other organization offers that to the young black men. No other organization can say they have groups of young men that don't drink, don't smoke, don't fool around with running up, chasing after women, bad habits, or anything. They are taught to be decent, upright, hard working. They look for a job. They don't go out to try to find something to steal.
That's right.
They're not trying to con somebody out of what is theirs, but they're taught to be independent by learning how to get something for themselves. Become a husband that can provide for his children.
Yes, sir.
You don't see them down in the friend of the court because they don't want to work and they don't want to feed their children. Not if they are sincere Muslims.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. The messenger continues. He says they take physical training and exercises in many ways to keep physically fit and healthy, and to try to get away from many of the physical ailments that they have suffered long before coming into the knowledge of Islam. Speak to us, Brother Lieutenant, about the physical training. A lot of the brothers that we talk to in the street want to know. They say, we heard the FOI is the army of the Nation of Islam, but we don't see y'all with no guns.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I'd like to say on that note, you know, we try to deal with the whole of the human being, and we're talking about the mind, the body, and the spirit.
Yes.
And so what we deal with on the physical, we try to deal with in the same aspect on the mental and the spiritual, because we understand that if we're spiritually weak, mentally weak, then we can never be physically strong. And so our training that we're taught from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad through the example of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us on all those different levels. So we don't specify one over the other, because all of them are very important.
Yes.
We're taught that we don't carry weapons because if we believe that God is real, and if we believe that we're striving to be in submission to that God that we believe is real, then there is no weapon that can be formed against the righteous that will prosper.
That's right.
And so therefore we walk in that light and that confidence. We are physically fit. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us 2 books called How to Eat to Live. And in those books called How to Eat to Live, he taught us the proper foods to eat. He taught us the right time to eat them. He taught us the best of what we should get with that, but he also taught us that we had 2 digestive systems. And saying that, he said that one was our stomach and what we put in the food, and then the other was our mind.
That's right.
And so it was very important that we digest mentally the right food, because he said that if we don't, then we'd be really wasting our time trying to eat right, but we're not thinking right, because
That's
our
right.
mind is the most powerful thing that we have. He taught us that there is nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. And so once we make our mind up that we can accomplish whatever we need to accomplish, and we believe in God and submit ourselves to it, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. But we have many forms of training, and we would love to be able to introduce that to our brothers. If you can come and see us on 14880 Wyoming, Detroit, Michigan, and be a part of what it is that we're about, and we can show you how we try to mentally, spiritually, and physically keep ourselves fit so that we can overcome the wiles of Satan.
Yes,
That's
sir.
beautiful.
This training, does any of the brothers that's listening to us this evening, do they have to be a member of the Nation of Islam to come to this?
To come to
the class?
To the class? No, sir. They do not have to be a member of the Nation of Islam to come to this class. We welcome all men, and our classes are on Monday. Now, this Monday, if I might,
Go right ahead.
this
Brother
Monday we'll be in a particular place, and we have a special event. And that event, we call it Super Monday. And Super Monday is what our student captain, Roy, thought of wanting to have a special day and a special type of class where we can bring as many people in the community in this class and let them get an opportunity to hear and see what the Nation of Islam is about. Now, this year, we're inviting our sisters to it as well. Last year, it was strictly for the men.
That's
But
right.
we want our sisters to have an opportunity to be here as well and see what it is that we're giving the men, how we're teaching men to be responsible, like our student minister said over here, how we're teaching the men to be upright men, how we're teaching our brothers to not only be responsible and upright with our families, but we got to take it beyond our family and take it to the streets.
That's right.
Because we can do everything we can to have our family in order. But if our next door neighbor to the left and to the right of it is not getting any of what it is that we learned, then they could very well become potential enemies to us. So we want to make sure that we do everything we can to teach and train all of our people. And so Monday, which is this Monday, the 16th, we're having a special event, and we're going to have our national assistant to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that will be at this event. He's the keynote speaker. You don't want to miss this.
No.
If you're tired of our community looking the way it's looking and we're not doing enough about it, then you should be there.
That's
If
right.
you're tired of looking at the news and you're seeing our children being deliberately murdered for very silly reasons, and you want to see that come to an end, then you need to be there. If you're tired of looking at the news and you're looking at our elderly sisters getting their homes broken into, and then we so twisted right now in some of our thinking that we're raping 80-year-old women and things like this, we have to clean our community up. We have to make our community clean and safe places to live. And so what we want to discuss tomorrow, doors open at 5 p.m. The event starts at 6 p.m. at the Northwest Activity Center. And that address is 18,100 Myers Road. You want to be there. We asking for the men to come. We let the sisters know that they can be there too. But we have a special message, and we want to not only have a message, but after we get up from that message, we want to get out and do something positive in our community.
This is the key, brothers and sisters. Like brother is saying, is so many complaints going on. We talk to men and women, and everybody's complaining. Well, we, the Nation of Islam, we are taught that we have to put our faith into action.
That's right.
If you believing in God, then you got to put it into action.
Yes,
You know, when you study about Jesus, Jesus wasn't in the mosque or the synagogues. When he went into there, he started kicking their behinds because they were robbing the people. Jesus was out in the street with the downtrodden people,
Yes,
the poor people. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a direct blessing from Almighty God Allah. And his national assistant, one of the sons of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, is going to be in the D tomorrow. So we looking for you all to be there. It's free.
That's right.
Don't cost you nothing. Get there. Remember a couple of years ago, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan told us to watch the weather.
Yes.
When I came out my front door this morning, there was some ice and some snow on my steps and some ice on the window of my van.
Yeah.
So this man is guided by the Lord of the worlds. And what he's saying in his warnings, Allah's backing him up.
Absolutely.
So we want to get 10,000 fearless.
That's right.
You see, so as brother was saying, so we can take charge of our own community.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't depend on the police. You know what I'm saying? We have to check them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? 9 out of 10 times. See, so the time is at hand. Get the members of your family, sisters that have sons, and you're a single parent.
That's right.
And you need some help. Well, we have mentoring programs.
Yes, we do.
And your sons is our sons.
That's right.
But you got to bring them to us.
Come on.
Bring them to us, and we guarantee you that we, by the help of Allah, will take care of them.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take care of them
No
because this is
question
what
about it.
time it is.
That's right.
You know, and rest assured, this is not the last time that the brother lieutenant or the captain's going to be on here.
No.
See, because we got to hurry.
That's right.
If a house is burning, then you don't be asking about what else, right? Justice or else. Everybody want to know or else. If the house is burning down, that's the or else.
Come on.
The or else is to get up and get the hell out the house. That's the or else. You understand, brothers and sisters? It's serious. Praises be to Allah. So it's just a blessing. And we are so thankful that here at number one, we have great officers that's teaching and training the private soldiers. See, the FOI is an army, is a spiritual army.
Yes.
But don't get spooky, you know what I'm saying, about talking about doing something. Let me say that, you know what I'm saying, because Allah is God. Remember the story of David and Goliath. That's a great sign that our student minister Troy taught about today, and about his faith. And he took care of Goliath and told Goliath what he was going to do to him before he did it to him. That was his strong faith in God. So the time is at hand. I'm just inspired, you know, about you being here, brother
Thank you, sir.
Lieutenant.
Thank
And this
It's an honor.
it's time.
It's
It's time. You know what I'm saying, brother minister? Let me hush you up. Talk to us.
Yes, well, it's like Brother Minister, Brother Lieutenant Harmon said,
Yes, sir.
the messenger put out 2 books
Yes, sir.
on how to eat to live. And he taught us that we are in the condition that we are in because we were taught to eat the wrong food.
Yes, sir.
And the only way we can correct our situation of the way the young people are acting and robbing and prying on the
Right.
old people and all of these things, the only way that can be corrected is someone have to teach them
Yes, sir.
how to eat.
Yes, sir.
Because if they're never taught how to eat, then their behavior will never change. You see? Because you are what you eat.
Yes, sir.
You see? And the spiritual food that you spoke of, the 2 systems,
Yes, sir.
Brother Minister, spiritual and physical.
Yes, sir.
You see, you have
That's
to be
right.
taught and trained in both of them. How to think in the natural food
Yes.
to eat in order to have a transformation in the person. So this is what the great teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he uh, bring about young men like this
Yes, sir.
and train them on how to train other young men
That's right.
coming in. See, so that they can change
That's right.
and we can become the way God wants us to be. And that's the only way that we are going to be able to build a new world,
That's
a
right.
new society,
That's right.
that our children can grow up in a society of peace.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
see?
sir. Praise be to our Super Monday.
That's right.
Super Monday. Get excited about it.
Come on.
That's
See?
right.
Super Monday.
Yeah.
See, this is serious business, brothers.
That's true.
Serious business. And sisters, you're complaining about your relationship, about your man. He don't do this, he don't do. Well, come on to the Nation of Islam
And bring him.
and bring
That's
him
right.
with you,
Bring him.
because
That's
the
right.
fruit is the best.
That's right.
You see, the fruit is the best. You see the FOI in the streets of Detroit.
That's
You're
right.
seeing these brothers with the Final Call newspaper, right? And you see them being very respectful, very honorable,
That's right.
And people cussing, they're getting cussed out. See, we are such a people that have lost the knowledge of ourselves. We cuss out men that's doing something good by the
That's
will of
right.
Allah. See, so come on out, Super Monday.
Super
That's right.
Monday.
That's a boss name, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The messenger continues. He says, and trained into the knowledge of what the aims and purpose of Islam are, they are to clean up a people
That's right.
who are not clean morally as well as spiritually in America, and to make them fit to become good members of the society.
That's right.
Speak to our brothers, Brother Harmon, about these words here. The moral, you had touched on the morality and the spiritual.
Yes,
You
sir.
see,
Absolutely.
to become good members of society. Now, what society are we talking about here?
Well, we're talking about a society that's unlike the society that we're living in right now. This world that we're in right now is really diametrically opposed to righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
This is a world that leans in a direction of satanic in the way that it operates.
Mhm.
What we are striving to do is bring, when you read in the Bible and it says, bringing the heaven on earth. That's what we're striving to do.
Yes.
Mhm.
But we know that before we can bring something like that into fruition, that we have to spiritually have it inside us first. We have to mentally have it inside us first. And then once we can spiritually and mentally get an idea of what that heaven that we want to bring into fruition look like, then we get up and we get to work and we make it happen. And it happens one man, one woman at a time.
That's
And
right.
if we think about it on those terms, it won't look like such a massive undertaking. If you just each one teach one, you hear that being said,
Right.
but
That's
that's
right.
real. If we just start out within our family,
Mm-hmm.
and first we got to get educated. We
That's
have
right.
to get our spiritual development because we can never really be successful as we would want to be if we don't have a spiritual base. Because
Right.
we're fighting a spiritual war.
That's right.
And when we understand that we're fighting a spiritual war, then we know we got to feed the right food spiritually within our spiritual mind in order for us to be able to overcome the physical realities that are coming from the spiritual existence. And we can't separate the two, and many times we don't see the correlation between the two. But you can't do a thing except that you thought of it first.
Mm-hmm.
There's
That's
no
right.
way that you can walk into doing something and didn't know how you got there. No, you thought of it first, then
That's
you
right.
rationalized it in your mind, and then you made it sound right with yourself before you moved out on doing it. And so we have to capture those demonic thoughts and the things that we have in first within our mind, stop it there, and we can start a process of something new. And so that's what we're trying to do. And so in the Nation of Islam, under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we have all kinds of study guides. We have different types of books and things, and we study on a regular and consistent basis. And then we don't just study and leave it at that.
That's
we get
right.
up and we get busy and we try to put to practice what it is that we've learned. The road is not easy, but you have to be determined.
That's
and the
right.
key is, as I said earlier, there's nothing more powerful than a made up and determined mind. And when we decide that we don't want the world that we have anymore, and we start moving in the direction of changing our own reality, and then begin to touch other brothers and sisters to change their reality, before you know it, we have a whole block change.
Yeah,
and then
right.
we go from that whole block to another block. And we go from that block to maybe a city.
Yeah.
And from the city to the state. And it can go like that until it spread like wildfire. This is the way we think. This is our
That's right.
determination. In the Nation of Islam, we're not inside a box. We think outside the box. We're not caught in the matrix. We outside the matrix,
That's
and we
right.
see the world as it really is, and we're striving to make it different than what we see.
That's right. Those study guides that brother is talking about, you all invited on Wednesday evenings at 8 o'clock and Friday evenings at 8 o'clock at
Yes, sir.
14880 Wyoming. You can welcome to come and study together as a family with these guys that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been blessed to put together for us.
Yes, sir.
So again, you don't have to be a Muslim to attend these classes,
That's right.
brothers and sisters.
That's
We are all black people,
That's
right? And they not killing you because you a Christian or us because we a Muslim.
Come on.
You know, our color gives them the target that they're looking for. So remember, don't think that we don't love our Christian family.
No,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying?
That's
The Honorable Louis Farrakhan teaches us that a good Muslim is a good Christian,
That's right.
and a good Christian is a good Muslim.
Absolutely.
See? So we're removing all of these theological arguments.
Yes, sir.
That's over with. You black, yeah, then get with us.
Come on.
Come on, Brother Minister Daniel.
Yes, sir. Well, you see, history teaches us that we have to defend what Allah give us,
Yes, sir.
or else we can lose it.
That's right.
If we're not ready to defend the truth that we receive, well, we'll never be able to change our society,
That's right.
because there's always going to be opposition to rise up in whatever work you're doing. If you're doing a righteous work, unrighteous opposition is going to rise up against it. So you have to have men that are trained to defend. You see, or else you're wasting your time. Allah allow you to accomplish something, but then after you accomplish it, you better be ready to defend it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because if you are not what you accomplished, you're going to lose. Well, this is what time we are in right now. We are doing like we did before the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We are rebuilding. Well, why do we have to rebuild?
Yes, sir.
Because someone tore down what we had built.
That's right.
So if we're not vigilant, the same thing is going to happen again.
That's right.
We don't want to depend on just one man standing up to rebuild.
Right.
Huh? We want an army to see to it that we won't have to rebuild. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes,
What's
sir.
the point in accomplishing all kinds of farmland and everything else and then somebody come along and wipe it out?
Right.
We have to be ready to defend what Allah bless us with.
That's
Or
right.
else we wasting our time.
Yes, sir.
And that's what young men like this is for.
Yes, sir.
To teach the young men not only how to clean up and get something, but how to hold it
That's right.
once you get it.
That's right.
You
Absolutely.
see? That's why it have to be mind and body working together.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
If all you doing is out there picking cotton, and when you get to the end of the road, somebody snatch your sack. You,
Right.
Come on. Yes, sir.
you understand what I'm talking
Yes, sir.
about?
Absolutely, brother man.
So you got to be ready. You got to learn lessons from the past.
Yes.
If you don't learn nothing from the past, you bound to repeat.
That's right.
You see,
Praise
it's going to
be to
happen
Allah.
again.
Yes, sir.
And this is the thing that I want to try to impress.
Yes, sir.
You know, that we have to be vigilant.
Yes, sir.
They tried to destroy the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Allah wouldn't let them.
Yes, sir. That's
Now,
right.
do you think we're supposed to sit around until they get that bowl again and try to destroy the minister?
Come on.
Or are we going to be ready to stop them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You see, in other words, the things that we go through should prepare us
Yes.
for a better future. See, we have to be, that's what FOI means.
Yes, sir.
You
That's
see,
right.
someone who is going to bring about a new future.
Yes, sir.
You think that seed don't have to fight to get up to the top of that ground?
Yes, sir.
It's got to have in it the ability to break through that soil.
That's right. That's right.
Huh?
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
It's got to have in it that ability that Allah put in it. Allah put in us.
Yes, sir.
The young black men, the tribe of Shabazz,
That's right.
huh? We're the mightiest tribe there is or ever was.
That's right. Shabbat.
Shabazz.
Yes, sir.
And we were chosen.
That's right.
This brother was chosen by Allah
That's right.
to defend what he blessed us with through following the minister.
That's right. That's right.
You see? We have to be ready to defend him, and he have to be ready to call on all of us
That's
to
right.
defend the minister.
That's right. You all, our listening audience, you in touch with the Journal of Truth. Our special guest this evening is Brother Lieutenant Harmon Muhammad and Minister Daniel Muhammad. You might say to yourself, well, sound like you brothers are recruiting. That's exactly what we're doing.
Now,
That's exactly
Yes,
what
sir.
we're doing.
Yes,
We're
sir.
recruiting black men
they want
to stand up and take on responsibility to our families.
That's
This
right.
is the key. The fruit of Islam, the name given to the military training
That's
of the
right.
men that belong to Islam in North America.
That's right.
See, so the time is at hand, sisters. You don't have to complain anymore. Just show up at 14880 Wyoming.
That's
That's
You
right.
see, and you will meet and greet the fruit of Islam and
That's
talk
right.
to them. You
That's
see,
right.
and talk to the MGT sisters. See, and they gonna tell you what you need to do so that you will be blessed with one of these fruit of Islam.
That's
Right?
right.
You can't get something for nothing.
That's
We done
right.
heard that all our lives. So you talking about God's army.
That's
So
right.
God's army is unlike any other army in the universe.
That's right.
See, you got to have special qualifications to get to God's army. See, so it's definitely a recruiting program.
Absolutely.
That's
And
right.
if they need to get in contact with you, brother lieutenant, you have a
Yes,
number
sir.
where they can reach you, sir.
Well, we have a number. You
Okay.
can reach me at 313-304-2652. That's 313-304-2652. Now, we also have a couple of centers, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given us instructions, and he wanted
Come
us to go into the community and start conflict resolution centers.
That's right.
And in doing that, what he wants us to do is to help resolve the conflicts in our community so we can quit killing each other
That's
for
right.
nothing.
Come on, brother.
We have to get our brothers and sisters to see that everything is not as bad as we think it is. And we're shooting each other, we're stealing from each other, we're doing these different things, and we can really solve a lot of these issues if we just have somebody with a level head that can put us together and allow us to be able to work out our differences without picking up a gun.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
once we pick the gun up and we start firing that off and it enters into someone's body, you can't take it back. You know, and you might look back days later and say, man, I really didn't have to do that. You know, it wasn't
Right.
really that serious, but at this point, it's too late because you may have taken a life. So in order to keep that from happening, we've had conflict resolution centers we're setting up in several different places of the city. We have one right next to our mosque right now, which again is at 14880 Wyoming. We have one established there where we're going to be allowing our community to come in, sit down, and we'll have mediators to resolve conflicts. We have to learn to love each other, brothers
That's
and
right.
sisters, and we're not our worst
That's
enemy.
right.
We have to learn that we have to love each other, and we can get through anything that we need to get through.
All praise is due to Allah. Time, when you're having fun, time goes fast.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So we got about 4 more minutes
Yes, sir.
here. Again, it's Super Monday.
Super
That's
Monday.
right.
Super Monday tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
brothers and sisters, right? At 18100 miles. You know where it's at. The Northwest Activity Center,
That's
right? Where we have all them parties. Well, we party in Islamic style
Come
tomorrow.
on, come on.
Come to the party and hear the message from the National Student Minister of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, one of the sons of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, Ishmael Muhammad. He's going to be the keynote speaker, and we will be honored of you and the whole family. Come on out.
That's right.
You know, bring everybody with you. Call your whole family. Everybody show up because the time is critical. You know, we are heartbroken watching TV as they announce a 6-month-old baby being killed.
Absolutely.
The time is now.
That's
we
right.
can't sit back no more talking about, oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's,
No.
what are we going to do about it?
Exactly.
See, well, this is what we are putting the word out to all of our pastors in the faith community. We have been blessed to meet with some of the bishops,
Yes,
Student
right.
Minister Troy and Chief Craig. You see, and they're talking about the faith community. They want the faith community. In other words, they want God to get involved.
Come on.
That's what they're saying. So we're going to get involved with this, and if we preaching the word of God, then we got to lead the charge.
Yes, sir.
See what I'm saying? Because when you go with God, and then whoever God is with, can't nobody be against them and win. See? So the time is at hand, brothers and sisters. We can get a couple of closing statements, and then we'll call it a night till next time.
Well, I just like to say this in light of what our brother Sami, Student Minister Sami, said once again. I can't stress enough. You don't want to not be there tomorrow.
Come on, brother.
You want to take some time, make the sacrifice, family, and be there. It starts at 6 p.m. Doors open at 5 p.m. from 6 to 10. That's just a few hours of your time, a few hours when we could be doing a whole lot of things that
Yes,
mean
sir.
nothing, but this is something that I believe is very important.
Yes, sir.
Right.
We're talking about the National Assistant to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, a man who's right there beside the Honorable Minister
That's
Louis
right.
Farrakhan, getting counsel on a regular basis, has a message for us here in the city of Detroit. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is looking at our city as a very valuable city to him.
That's
He's
right.
in and out this city on a regular basis because he knows that we have a great potential. So we saying, come on out, brothers and sisters. Help us to make our city a clean and safe place to live. Help us to resolve conflicts within our community. We do not have to pick up a gun and use that as the reason or how we're going to solve our problems.
That's
we
right.
can do this in a different way.
That's
and
right.
we're calling on the men because we know until the men stand up and do what needs to be done in the community will never be what it
That's
should
right.
be.
Come on,
we
brother.
can't any longer allow things to happen within our community and we just turn our head to it. We say it's never going to change. Well, it won't ever change if in your mind you believe it won't
That's
change.
right.
Because as I said, there is nothing, once again, for a third time, more powerful than a made-up mind. So once we make our mind up that we want to see a different reality in our community and we set forward with changing that reality, there is nothing that we can't accomplish. Well, we want to talk a little bit about that tomorrow. So we're asking you to bring your sons, sisters. We're asking you, brothers, to bring your sons. We're asking sisters to bring your husbands.
That's right.
We're asking you, brothers, to bring your nephews, your next door neighbor. We want to have that place jam-packed.
Yes.
Hearing the message that's coming straight from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan through his representative, his national assistant, the student minister Ishmael Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
That's
Thank you.
right.
Thank you, Brother Minister Daniel. Closing statement. You got a couple of more minutes.
Well, Brother Minister, I was just wanting to reiterate the fact that we need to try to change our people's eating habits.
Yes, sir.
It would be a good thing if we had some wholesome food in those conflict resolution centers.
Yes, sir.
Something and how to teach them to eat properly and have some food there for them to eat, you know. And maybe some kind of way we could have a food drive,
Yes, sir.
you see, where we could give wholesome food to the people, you see. And that would be a good calling card, but it would open up the door for us to teach them the importance of eating proper, because we're never going to change the conditions in our society until we change their eating habits.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah. Again, brothers and sisters, Super Monday.
Super Monday.
Yes,
Super
right.
Monday. We celebrating the 83rd, right, birth anniversary of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Beautiful.
Right?
Yes,
and
sir.
we're honoring the man and the mission.
That's right.
The man and the mission, brothers
right.
and sisters. And the guest speaker is Student Minister Ishmael Muhammad, the National Assistant to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's tomorrow at the Northwest Activity Center.
That's
Be
right.
there. The doors open at 5 o'clock. The program starts at 6 o'clock. So we pray to Allah that He blesses each and every one of us. We thank you for tuning in to see, to hear, and to understand the life-giving teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad being continued today by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and in the city of Detroit, his local student minister, Troy Muhammad. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.
It's hard for you to smile, 'cause I've stood and watched a while. Keep your head up high. Your actions no one can take away your smile. Would you like to walk with me from that dead end street? Would you like to take my hand and